Okie Show. Hello and welcome to the Okie Show, the podcast that dives into the finer details of navigating Oklahoma's film and music industries. I'm Brian.
I'm Kelly.
And we are here with the casting director extraordinaire, Mr. Chris Freihofer. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thanks for having me. This is fun.
And you've been the casting director on what? Give us some of your credits.
Oh my gosh! Well, recently this year we've done Hellraiser, Judgment. We did Children of the Corn, Runaway. I think the first film I worked on was called Return to Sender. Let's see, we've done August Osage County. We did Terrence Malick's To the Wonder. We did Rudderless. We did over the years, I don't know, we've done about 50 or 60 films, I think.
Man, that's awesome. And you were mentioning something kind of earlier about there's a difference between a location casting director and a casting director for like the overall picture. Can you describe the difference there?
Yeah, it depends on the film. Sometimes a film that's coming in from out of town will hire their location casting director or hire their main casting director out of LA, and that person will take care of all the all the stars. And then when they're coming to town, they have the roles that they're not going to fly out, and so they want to hire the local actors, so they'll hire a location casting director to oversee that process. Sometimes I'll cast the entire film. Sometimes I'll cast just a few roles or maybe 20 roles or so. It just depends. It really depends on the film. Like on Hellraiser and Children of the Corn, I did the whole thing. On the next one I'm working on, I'm doing the whole thing. But then on August Osage County, I cast like 3 roles.
Right.
That was it. Meryl already came with the deal.
She's got a bright future ahead of her.
Yes, she does.
So tell us a little bit about yourself beyond casting director, because first of all, if you guys have seen season 5 of Breaking Bad, this guy is in there.
Or
which was a surprise to me. I don't know about you.
Friday Night Lights. Just throwing that out there. My husband and I rewatched that, and I was like, and there's Chris. Yes.
No, I was watching Breaking Bad, and like all of a sudden, there's your face, and I'm sitting there with my wife in the other room, and all she hears is, "Ah!" I know that guy. That's like, and Breaking Bad's like my favorite show of all time. So that was quite the treat.
That same reaction in a lot of people.
Do you have that effect on people? Just,
Ever since high school.
But you're also the foreman for the Actor Factory, which is where we're sitting right now. This is our first Okie Show remote episode ever.
Yes, we're comfortably sitting in Studio 2.
Welcome to the Actor Factory, Norman, Oklahoma.
Yes.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about the factory real quick.
Well, let's see. We opened the factory in 2009. I was an acting teacher and casting and all that. And, one thing that happened, Daryl Cox was teaching acting for camera a little bit. We were all kind of teaching, independently. And one thing I realized is that Oklahoma really didn't have a studio where multiple people that are skilled in working on camera, can provide a learning center. My sentence isn't going the way I was imagining it. But Oklahoma didn't have a facility where a number of people can come in and teach, the skills of acting on camera. You had to enroll in a university to take those kind of classes and stuff. So there wasn't really a place where a layman could go. And I kept, when films were coming into town, people would ask me, what's the talent like in Oklahoma? Is it mainly theater actors? What's the deal? I said, no, what's the talent base like? And we thought, well, let's try and help the talent base a little bit. So we created a factory in 2009. Daryl teaches here. We've got some other great teachers, Alyssa Mortimer and Rebecca McCauley, some other people. So we teach a lot of different aspects of acting on camera, from improv to voiceover to just acting on camera, auditioning. So
yeah, there's a lot of specific things that you guys touch on that can help. Like maybe I've got the actual audition down, but I need to have headshots that I don't know how to find someone who takes good headshots. And I'm going to Chicago, and I don't know what kind of headshots they need in Chicago versus LA versus all that. So you guys kind of cover all those things too.
Yeah, we bring in headshot photographers. We bring in guest intensives. We just had the casting director Marcy Liroff here just a few weeks ago, and she cast E.T. and
man,
I know. I mean, she was in the room when Henry Thomas was doing that amazing audition. And Spielberg said, "You got the job, kid." Have you seen that YouTube?
No, I haven't seen that.
YouTube, Henry Thomas audition E.T. It's fantastic. It's it's on there. It's
heartwarming.
It's just great, this little kid. But she's cast huge stuff, The Breakfast Club, just huge stuff. So it was fun to have her here and teach her stuff. So
you have quite a few guests come through from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
I get mad every single time I can't come down here and hang out with Now, of course, I'm blanking on
Well, we've
all
had
the
Charles
characters.
Baker, who played Skinny Pete.
Skinny
Yeah.
Pete.
He
Yep,
came in.
yep.
I actually cast him in a film, and that's why he came and did that thing. He was working on a film up in Guthrie. You Can't Win was the name of the film, and and I've known him for years. I cast him. One of the first films I worked on was called Splinter. Well, it wasn't one of the first, but it was an early film. It's called Splinter. It's a horror film. Just recently named one of the top 50 horror films of the century or something. Whatever. It was great.
Yeah.
But he played the guy that gets killed in the beginning kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I've had a relationship with him for years. And so when I've cast him in, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 films over the years. Terrence Malick's To the Wonder, he's in. But anyway, when I got cast on Breaking Bad, I texted him and said, "Hey man, I'm on this show. What am I going to expect?"
Yeah. What do I do?
He kind of helped me through it. But then I cast him in that film, You Can't Win, and he came down and did a thing here. But then Stephen Michael Quezada also, that plays Agent Gomez. in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, that's right, Gomez.
Yeah, he's come down a couple times and done stuff here at the studio,
Yeah.
and I've cast him a few times in a couple movies. So
He's a cool guy.
he's a cool
so
cat.
Down to earth.
I love that guy, and so politically active back home in Albuquerque.
Yeah,
like he's
my
on a
gosh.
school board and stuff like that. He's a really good dude.
That's awesome. And you've also had Badger here too.
Yeah. Well,
Which
he
is-
came to do some improv at OKC Improv.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I got
That's
to take
right.
a class from him, dude.
I didn't know Badger was here. I didn't know
Yeah,
Wait,
that.
no, he didn't come to the factory. He came to OKC.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's right.
I didn't know.
We keep having
That's
these
cool.
Breaking Bad people coming through.
I know.
Right into Mexico. That's why. I'm waiting for Bob Odenkirk to just show up.
Yeah. Are you going
What's
to
up,
make a
Bob?
surprise appearance on Better Call Saul sometime? Because
Well, I don't know. But it'd be cool. I tell you what, I was in Bob Odenkirk's presence a couple of times while I was out doing that show, and I was too nervous. I couldn't go talk to him because I've been such a
Yeah.
fan of his for so long.
he's
I
like
was
a
completely
monster.
Star Trek.
Yeah.
I've been in front of a lot of huge people, but I was so starstruck in front of him, I couldn't deal with it.
Oh, man. I can't imagine.
So let's we're going to be talking specifically about the role of the casting director today. Not so much a talent agent and not so
Or
much
manager, right?
Or manager
Yeah.
or anything like that, but the casting director. So first of all, can you describe the responsibilities of a casting director?
Well, there's a lot of misperceptions or misconceptions about it. People think that we cast the film, we make all the decisions in the casting process and all that stuff, and that's not true at all. We direct the casting process. That's what we do. So, the people hire us because they know we know the actors locally, and we can suggest ideas and that kind of thing, and we bring people on tape or bring in people and put them on tape based on what they're looking for. But we just kind of oversee the casting process. So when a script comes to me, we break it down. I kind of look at the types of roles, and we write a description of the project and all the description of the roles we're looking for. Then we send that out to the talent agents, and I kind of know who locally is going to fit a lot of these things, but then I'm still open to suggestions. And so the agents submit their ideas to me, and then I go through it, look at their headshots and resumes, maybe look at their video if they have it, their demo reels and things. And then we just bring them in based on if we think they can, tackle this role or what they can handle. We put them on tape. We upload the ones that we think are going to be really good in contention, and then we show those to the director, and it's not just 2 or 3, it's several people we show. Yeah. And then wherever they are in LA or New York or London or wherever, they take a look at it and they decide who they would like to meet when they get in town. And so we schedule callbacks, and so we bring them in, maybe 2 or 3 people for each role, maybe 4 for each role, and the director meets them and gets a sense of their energy. And then sometimes they'll turn to us and say, "What do you think about this person?" or "Who'd you like in this role?" But it's usually typically, the director gets to decide. And even the director, that they say in the business, it's the golden rule. Whoever has the gold makes the rules.
Right.
So the director still has to turn to the producer and say, "Is this okay, Dad? Can I cast this person?" But that's our process. Then we handle the booking and the negotiating and all that stuff too.
Cool.
The deals.
So for the layman listener, can you describe what's the big difference between a talent agent and a casting director? I feel like those two get mixed up all the time.
Well, and the terminology gets mixed up because people call us casting agents too, and that's not the case. We're not casting it because think of it this way: an agent makes a commission. A real estate agent makes commission. What other kind of agents are there?
Secret ones?
The secret ones.
But a real estate agent makes commissions. A talent agent makes commission. We don't get paid a commission on anything. We're paid a day rate or a week rate or whatever to do our job. A talent agent represents actors, and so they have a pool of actors that they have under contract, and various casting directors put out their notices, and the agent handles and works on the behalf of their talent pool. So they submit actors to the project. They help schedule the auditions. They negotiate the deals for the actors. So they're trying to make as much money for the actor as possible because they get a commission on it. So the more money the actor makes, the more money they make.
Right.
And I'm on the other side of that. I'm more on the production side of it. So I'm hired by the producers to kind of be in the middle of that and direct that process. So I don't represent anyone at all. People think the Actor Factory is a talent agency. We're not. We're an acting studio, and my casting office just happens to work out of it during the day. But no, we don't represent anyone here.
And you also open up, I'm on your email list, right? Yep. So, any actor that maybe isn't represented in Oklahoma, if they aren't, they can still access those casting calls that you send out. So if they don't have an agent, they're still able to hey, can I just audition for this anyway, and send their stuff in, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, it depends. We do release a lot of casting calls during the week. Sometimes more in a week. Sometimes a week goes by, we don't have any. But anybody can join the email list and submit their headshots and resumes and that kind of thing, even if you don't have an agent. So yeah.
And do you send out to you do the local agencies in Oklahoma? Do they reach any Texas, Kansas, any of those places too? Or if you're looking for a bigger pool, maybe? Yeah,
all of my breakdowns go to the South Central region. Sometimes we go wider. If I'm doing the whole movie, we'll open it up a little wider to LA and New York and Chicago and things. But all my breakdowns go to Oklahoma, Texas, I think Kansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, I think.
Okay.
But we normally we try and pull all the cast from Oklahoma because it's better for the film. It's cheaper. It's the rebate and all that. But sometimes they'll prefer an actor out of Dallas or something. So, but we try and get as many of Oklahomans in there as we possibly can.
That's the nice thing about the rebate program is it creates that incentive for all these movies to keep it local, as much as you possibly. Obviously, you can't do that 100% of the time,
right?
But it's nice that we have that incentive.
Oh yeah, cool. It brings things to Oklahoma, that we might not see otherwise, and I know for a while we were fighting for it, the vote to
yeah.
So for the young actor, what advice would you give to an actor getting ready for an audition with the casting director?
Relax, man. People come in nervous and all freaking out. And if you're nervous in the casting room, what are you going to do when there's a set, when there's a crew and a huge camera and you sticking the microphone in their face?
Right.
What are they going to do? And when they're getting paid to be there, you were talking earlier about, before we went live, you were talking earlier about, anecdotes. And there's an anecdote of August Osage County and we got this guy in and he was called back by the director. They only called back 2 people for this one role, and can I tell this story? Is it okay?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because this is one of my favorite stories because it helps actors in so many different ways. Because the first actor that came in was brought in by the director, and the first actor comes in and he's done a ton of stuff and he's well known locally and he's got a great resume, and he does his read, and John Wells, the director, who John Wells, one of the creators of The West Wing and ER and Southland and what's the Bill Macy show on now? Showtime.
It's not Fargo, is it?
No. Well, you know what I'm talking about.
Is Bill Macy in that? Am I crazy? I haven't watched Fargo.
No.
I'm out of touch.
Oh, I can't think of it. Now that's all I'm going to think of until I can get this in. Anyway.
It'll pop in later.
Yeah. Drop it in.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, so John is directing this actor, and then the actor takes direction, and then the actor leaves, and John says, "Wow, I really like this guy. I would cast him in any of my TV shows. He just seems like one of those guys, but I don't think he's right for this role. So let's bring in the next guy." So, okay, whatever. You can only do what you can do. So we bring the second guy in, and the second guy was. He was taking the direction really well. He was doing a good job, and there's this scene where Julia Roberts' character is throwing medicine bottles at this character, and so my assistant at the time, Sarah, we had this bag of marshmallows, and so we're throwing at this guy, and this guy's taking marshmallows in the head and everything, and but he's still staying in character, and he does such a great job, and then. And then John directed him probably 5 times through this scene, and then he leaves. And John said, "Wow, I love that guy. But I can't use him. I wish I could use him." And I sank because he only called in 2 people. And I said, "Why can't you use him?" And he said, "Well, did you see how nervous he was? He's nervous with me and the 2 of you."
Marshmallows. How's it going to be with Julia Roberts? Yeah,
that's exactly what he said. And he goes, "And this is the first day of filming, and I can't." He goes, "I'm going to be nervous, so I can't risk this because everybody's in that scene. Julia and Meryl and everybody else is in that." And so my heart sunk. But that taught me a huge lesson. And to the first guy who didn't book it, the director said, "He's a great actor. I'd put him in any of my TV shows. He just wasn't right for this role." But I'm sure that actor leaves going, "What did I do wrong?"
Of course. You
Right?
never know.
What could I have done better?
Touch on that just a little bit.
Let me finish this point. And then the other guy, we all believed he could do it. The only one that didn't think he could do it was him.
Right.
Because that's what nerves are. It's you not convinced that you're good enough for that situation, right?
Right. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you're not comfortable. You're not sitting in it, just like living, breathing in the moment. It's intensity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we all were like, dude, you have this role. You have this role. You can be in this movie. And the only thing that kept him from being in that movie was his confidence. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
That's huge.
Yes, it's huge. That's why I teach this stuff.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's why you come here and take a class.
Well, no, I'm not trying to sell a class, but still, I mean, so much of the audition process is what's going on in your head.
Right.
It's not about talent or ability. It's all about overcoming that confidence or overcoming that fear and building your confidence.
Yeah, right.
Okay, what were you going to say? You were going to
just
touch on that thing.
I feel like a lot of actors, whenever they don't win on auditions, they get really down on themselves because they're like, "Oh, it was something I did," or like, "Oh, what did I? I didn't.
Sucked. Yeah,
I should have combed my hair differently or worn a different shirt." And there are so many factors. Can you talk about some of the thousands of factors that go into casting a role?
Oh my God! I mean, it's so there's no way. I mean, I'm still an actor. I don't get to audition for things I'm casting. I don't get to cast myself in anything. It's against SAG rules.
That's why he started this whole thing.
So I'm either casting it or I'm trying to get a role in it. And so I typically try and get a role in something outside of Oklahoma because I do get to work on a lot of things that shoot here. But then I just went down a rabbit hole of an explanation, and I can't remember what the question was.
Well, we were talking about like all the different things that. You could not win a role simply because the director
hair
was
color,
tired.
Or you're too tall, or too short, or you're the wrong sex. They decided to go a different way, or we need to get more flavor in it, or we need to get less flavor in it, or you look like the director's ex-wife, or whatever it is, or you're taller than the star, and we can't have someone taller than the star. Stephen Quezada, that played Gomez, tells this great story. I love this great story. Here's some Breaking Bad story for you.
Yes.
He tells this great story when I bring him here, that when it was down to Agent Gomez, it was down to him and 2 other guys, and I can't remember what the deal was, but I guess a few episodes in, he got a little more confidence and was talking to one of the producers, and it might have even been Vince, and said, what was it about my audition that got me this role? Because I just want to know, because these 2 other guys, there's 3 of us left, and the guy says, well, to be honest, you're 5'9". And the other guys were a lot taller, and we can't have, Gomez be taller than Hank.
Hank, right.
So he goes, wow. So I got this job because of my height, and the other 2 guys are going, what did I do wrong?
Right.
How could I have? Well, you should get it, started smoking when you were younger and stunted your growth or something, but that's all you can do, right?
Taking out those lifts that I wore.
Right.
It's so funny because there's just so many trivial, reasons why you might not get a role. It's a terrible business model if you're ever selling that to mom. Mom, I'm going to be an actor. Okay. But I feel like people just get so down on themselves and they don't realize it could be anything, dude.
It could be anything. And that's why I try and teach people. And that's why, and sometimes I even have to convince myself of this or remind myself of this, is that you don't have to have thick skin. It's not about rejection. When I don't get cast in something, I don't feel I got rejected. Mm-hmm. But the world out there and the people that aren't in the industry, and the common terms are, well, if you're going to get in acting, you better have thick skin. You better get used to rejection. And I have the thinnest skin. Like, I am so sensitive, and like I carry everything with me. But when I don't get a role, I don't think about it because there's so much else that goes into it. They might want someone with a bigger resume, or someone thinner or fatter or older or younger or whatever. Mm-hmm. As long as I go in there with confidence in my ability, and I've prepared my audition, and I know I'm a good actor, I know I make good choices in the room. So if they don't like me, it's not a judgment on me. It's just, they didn't want me that time. Okay, fine.
Yeah. Well, and from the perspective of the casting director, like, you see tons of people come in. Oftentimes, I'm sure you've seen the same person over and over and over again, and maybe it just hasn't worked out for them on these particular roles. But, like, what goes through your mind whenever you see an actor that you see is really, really good, but they're just not right for that role?
Well, I know that I'm going to bring them in for other things in the future.
You keep them in mind.
Oh, absolutely.
You have a call list in your head of, like, this person.
I'm going to bring this one in, and maybe the director, and that happened on Children of the Corn. There was someone that always comes in and does great auditions, and it just hadn't fit yet, and then she was everybody's top pick, and they were going to take that role. They were going to cast that role in Los Angeles, and they decided to cast it locally with Mary Catherine Bryant.
She's really good.
Yeah, she just had a great audition, and she just fit that role. But I brought her in for several things before that, and it hadn't quite worked out yet for her. But then there's other people that come in all the time, and they nail it, and it just doesn't happen that way. And I just hope they don't get discouraged, because it's not it's not an indictment on them in any way.
Right. It's nothing personal.
As long as you keep getting the audition, you're doing something right. Because if you're blowing the audition, the casting director isn't going to waste their time anymore. Mm-hmm. Because we've only got so many audition slots that we can fill in a day, and there's only so many people that can do, and there's a lot of people that don't get to come in the room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So on the positive side of that, when you are looking at a person who's auditioning, I'm sure there are certain things that an actor wants to do right and have confidence in. So I always hear, like, the first 5 seconds you're giving an impression, like the way you walk in a room matters, the way you do this matters. So when, I don't know, talk on that a little bit about, like, the certain things they can do, even if they might not be right because they're too short, they still are nailing it as far as, like, being comfortable taking direction, those kind of things. I don't know.
Well, you say the first 5 seconds walking into a room, the ones that are walking in like they don't deserve to be there, you just go, okay.
They've given up before they even,
Yeah, they've talked themselves out of it. When an actor sees those in the room as the cool kids with the ball, and they're trying to get over the fence to play in the yard, then they don't see themselves as an equal yet. And we're looking, anybody in a job interview, you're looking for colleagues, you're looking for people that you can trust, with this opportunity, and you're not going to drop the ball. You're going to, you're not going to slow us down during the day. You're a professional. You do this for a living. Even if you don't, you got to act like you do, right?
Yeah, fake it till you make it, yeah.
Acting.
But it's just a matter of making us feel comfortable. And when they turn on the charm too much, that's a turn off too. It's like, dude, just relax. It's just, we're just looking, just show us what you're going to do, and don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And I tell a lot of people this too, is that, a lot of people come from theater acting, or at least have a lot more experience in theater than in film. And I just tell people, treat the audition as you would the first rehearsal of a play, that you already got the role. You don't come in and say, how do you want me to do this? And you're not coming in all nervous. You're coming in comfortable. Okay, here's the role I'm going to tackle. Here's some ideas. If you don't like it, change it. I'm here
Let's
to take
work
direction
together rather than let me prove.
Tell me what. Tell me what to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Or give me all of your ideas so I can show you what I can do. No, dude, we want you to have some ideas too to make our job easier, right?
Right.
On that note, can we? How do you feel about actors that? What advice would you give to an actor who feels like? I'm trying to formulate my question without it sounding bad. I'll edit that out.
Yeah.
Like, there's some actors who I feel like when you see their little postcard, not resume, but like models normally have like multiple
Comp
looks
card
and
or
stuff.
something.
Yeah.
Like they can do drama and they can do comedy and they can do horror and like they can do so versatile. What advice would you give? Is it better to be versatile or is it better to focus on one road?
Look, a lot of people think they can play a lot of different things, and the truth is most people can't. You're going to be in your little box, and there's this, for some reason, there's this, the fear of being typecast in a certain thing. And
in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But to me, I mean, why are you? The second part of that word is cast.
Right,
So get cast.
You're gonna
Enjoy
get
your type.
work.
If
Yeah.
you look like a biker dude, don't try and come in and be an attorney. Just embrace that biker dude stuff and work as a biker dude all the time.
Right.
That's fine. Just embrace what you are. Versatility is great. Some people can do a little more than others, but if you're good at comedy, great. If you're good at drama, great. If you can do it both, great. But don't worry if you're not skilled in one thing. It's totally cool. Yeah. Can I go back to one thing we were talking about a second ago about the other thing that can happen in the room? And here's another anecdote. And we were doing Rudderless, William H. Macy's directing, and we cast probably 25 roles or so in that thing. By the way, if you haven't seen Rudderless, see it. It's really,
good.
really good. Really good.
Really good.
Really, as I told a colleague of mine, it's so rare we get to be proud to have our name on something.
Oh, I know.
So go see it.
That's so true.
Yeah. No, this one's good. I promise.
Yeah.
The other one's a paycheck.
Yeah.
But no, Rudderless. When we're in the callbacks, and we're I don't know how many roles we cast, 20 or so, but. William H. Macy is sitting at the table after the second day of callbacks, and he's got the headshots of all the people he's considering, and there's 2 or 3 people per role that he's considering, and he's just holding them up in his hand going, wow, I wish I was making 3 movies because I've got 3 people I can put in every one of these roles. And it was kind of killing him that he had to make a decision because this person was fantastic, but this person was fantastic in a different way. So what's the chemistry going to be? How are they going to look together? Yeah. And then he goes, on this one role in particular, he goes, well, I guess her.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
And then there's this girl, that didn't get cast that goes, again, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
Nothing.
You were, it was just
you were in
kind
his
of
left hand.
Okay.
It was a toss of the dice.
Yeah. And so how can you feel bad about it? That's not rejection.
Right.
It's just, it didn't work out that day. They can only give it to one person, but that doesn't mean everyone else is rejected because they sucked or did something wrong.
Right.
And for the actor that maybe hasn't won an audition in quite some time, I mean, like, what would you say to that person who keeps ending up being the headshot on the right, who keeps missing it by just that much?
Keep at it, man. If you are at that level and you got William H. Macy going, wow, I did a great, then something's going to happen. It just didn't. It can get you down, trust me. It can get you down and you can feel bad about yourself, but if you're getting that, you got to see it as half full, right? Because it's going to happen at some point, I promise.
Right.
Like it did for Mary Catherine. Like it did for Mary Catherine. Yeah, when you're drowning your sorrow.
With that bottle of whiskey, it's half full.
But like Mary Catherine in Corn, is that, she came close on a lot of things, and she hasn't been doing, whatever. But she's a great actor, but, she's come close on a lot of things that hadn't really gone her way, and then it finally did, and it will. It will.
And on Children of the Freaking Corn.
Yeah.
And she's really good. Watch that movie when it comes out. Just saying.
Insider advice.
I was there. I saw it. I heard every line. I recorded them too.
I'm curious. So how important, like in a situation where you've got 2 good people, how important is the details, like how their headshot looks or how their resume is laid out? Like, does that ever come into play as a casting director? You look at something and go, well, this one's just a little more professional looking, or, I know that seems trivial, but I'm curious.
Well, I'll tell you, the way the resume is laid out is less important now than it used to be because so much is done online. So it's all kind of formatted the same way. Now, once they come in the room and hand us the headshot, then we kind of hope it looks like the resumes they're looking at in LA, so they don't look like
someone just
like
type it.
This is how they do it in Oklahoma.
Take a selfie.
Okay, well, they're not really professionals.
Why is it in pink font? Yeah.
Right. But headshots is a different matter. Because all the headshots are the same. Not, you know what I mean. We're all looking at them. and that's the thing a lot of people don't realize. When it's submitted to us online by the agencies or stuff, it's usually submitted through some kind of service, some casting service that they have a profile on, that their agent has a profile on or something. And so we see the headshots when they're submitted to us, and they're like 4 across and 25 down. So we get 100 per page, and we go to the next page and go to the next page. And so we are scanning headshots, and so everybody's a thumbnail, and so typically the ones that don't look like they have professional headshots if we don't know them, we don't consider them to be a professional actor.
Right.
We're not even going to bother to click on the resume, because it's not like the old days where the headshots would come in and we would flip over the resume and see
on
the
back.
back.
Yeah.
Now we have to click on something, and if the headshot doesn't entice us to click on it, then we're not going to.
And honestly, if they don't have a professional headshot, how do you know they're going to be professional?
Right. I mean,
exactly.
And then on the set.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but some people may not have a professional headshot, but they have a ton of professional work. But we're not going to know that because we won't click on their resume because they don't look professional in their headshot.
Right.
So I always recommend people, get your headshot done by a professional headshot photographer, not a portrait photographer, not
your friend who's starting their photography business. Yeah.
I mean, you get what you can afford, but and so if all you can afford is your friend that bought a camera, that's fine. But just know that you might be missing out on bigger opportunity because your headshot does not look like what the pros look like.
Okay.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Is that
Yeah.
cool?
Yeah.
All right.
Good word. Good word. Okay. So final question.
Final question.
Final
It's
question.
over?
I know. It goes by so fast.
It goes by
It's
so
insane.
fast. Wow.
What would you say? I want to know what not to do.
Yes. That's always good.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you said it's a final question, but do we have another hour to talk about this? Because that's
As long as let's just do a part 2.
Yeah.
yeah. Wow, what not to do? Okay, study your lines, know the material coming in, have ideas what you're going to do. An approach to the role, and have ideas for that. Don't be needy, don't be beggy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just be the kind of person that you would want to come in and apply for a job for you.
Yeah, that's a good word. That's a very, very good word.
Because an audition is a job application.
Right.
I mean, it's a job interview.
It's an interview. Yeah, exactly.
So be the good party guest. Come on time, leave early.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't stay around.
Right.
And just present the person that you are when you are attracting friends.
Right.
And not trying to win a contest.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that can be off-putting as far as just like
That's very
cocky.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just that kind of attitude.
Both sides of the spectrum.
Right. Yeah.
Guys, I'm so great. Just wanted you to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But being prepared is a big thing because you'd be surprised how many people are not prepared.
Right.
Like they didn't think to memorize
Learn their
lines,
lines.
or
Yeah.
They're like just gonna read it for the first time.
Oh man,
and
that's
they
the
blame
worst
their agent.
when you're shooting and they don't remember their lines and like the whole 50 people are staring right at them.
Take again.
Like, oh god, it's not just like a waste of time. It's also just like painful to experience because you're like, there's nothing you could do to save this person.
I know.
Your line is.
They like Michael Scott the situation where they just kind of keep just talking and they don't really know where they're going with it. But they
Right.
Painful memorizing lines.
Just being a good party guest and just being on top of it, acting like a pro, act like you do this for a living.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, there's so many things what not to do. But the other thing is don't get down on yourself if you don't, One thing that happens is when people go up on their lines and go up,
forgetting them.
forget
Right.
them. Yeah, thank you.
Theater time.
Yeah. I've worked with Corky. I know all the lingo. They'll blame their agent. Oh, I'm sorry. My agent, I didn't get this till last night. My agent didn't send it. No, your agent sent it to you 2 days ago. You just didn't bother to, deal with it.
And if they did,
Don't tell the casting director that he knows.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you did
and I'll
send it
tell
to
their
you
agent.
last night, right. Yeah, and if they did send it to you last night, well, then stay up and memorize it. That's
Right,
like you're wanting a
exactly.
job, right? You don't just like, I'm tired. Like,
Yeah.
That's true.
stay up.
That's true. And if you know you're going to come in unprepared and going to suck, don't go.
Right.
Don't go, because that's the impression we get of you, and we go, well, no, they're not prepared, so
Right.
we'll not bring them in on the next
kind
one.
of a liar.
Right.
Oh man.
As far as what not to do, like, okay, just curious, dress. Like, when people wear certain things, if they're dressing to the character or not, do you prefer one over the other, like just professional audition outfit, or like should they not like dress for a specific character? Like you mentioned like a biker. Like if you were a biker and you're auditioning for a biker dude, you kind of want to look like one, right?
Yeah, if you look like that.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
But is that kind of a specific offshoot?
Michael
Or
Cera in all leather.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Holding a helmet.
yeah.
I mean, because sometimes a role can be described a certain way, but we'll bring in a different type just to maybe change the director's mind. So if you're a different type than that, don't go out and rent a biker uniform, or go out and put on a fake beard, or whatever. Get a Harley hat.
on this wardrobe.
Yeah,
What not to do.
because we might be changing the type on the idea. So and it just reminds me of a time I was auditioning for something myself in Austin, and the role was described as this surgeon that's kind of a rock and roll surgeon, and he's rides a Harley, and leather jacket.
Is this the dentist from Little Shop of Horrors? That's kind of what I'm hearing.
and I'm like, wow, that is not me at all. So I just went in wearing a suit like a doctor would wear, or a tie or something, where a doctor would wear. And then because that's not me. That's not my look. And then I see this other actor walk in that looked exactly like it was written, because he had the long hair and he's tall and good looking, in a T-shirt. I'm like, okay. I hope he sucks, because
that's my tranquilizer gun.
Right. Because that's what they described, or maybe they want to go the other way. And,
Right,
so
yeah.
maybe that's me. But to your point, Kelly, is that I would say dress to suggest the role in most cases. Don't go out and rent a costume. If you're actually a police officer, then come in uniform if you're auditioning for a police officer. But if you're not, don't go get a police officer uniform at the Halloween store.
Oversized.
Fake beard is my favorite thing. Like, I would love to just put on a fake beard for some of my auditions, just because. Like, who's like,
love to see
I'm
that.
gonna fake some facial hair today on my audition.
Some people, when they're doing a doctor or something, they'll come in with a lab coat and all this stuff. And
Right.
that's almost trying a little too hard. They'll have the stethoscope around there.
Props.
I
Props
know,
to the audition.
I know.
Props.
Ooh.
Well, okay. Well, that's a different subject. let me finish this real quick and say that you want it to look like you care about the audition, but you don't want it to look like it's the only audition you've had the last month. You know what I mean?
I'm desperate.
Yeah. But then the thing about props is that there's this hard and fast rule. Never bring props to an audition. I a little bit disagree with that. I think props are okay as long as they don't get in the way. As soon as it gets in the way of the audition, as soon as it kind of becomes about the prop, then it kind of is a disservice to you as an actor. But if you use a clipboard, have your script on a clipboard, and you're a nurse checking off a chart, then that's totally fine. Don't not do it just because they say never take a prop.
Right.
Totally fine.
It's kind of I feel like it's kind of like it comes down to common sense.
Yes.
Like it goes back to like, if you were going to hang out with somebody, who would you want to hang out with?
Right.
Like weird dude with his prop bag and like clown outfit, or like just a normal guy
Who just happens to be a rock and roll doctor.
right, the coolest doctor of all time.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we're going to move on to some games, but before we do, the Okie Show is brought to you by Kelly's Corner. This is a new segment of the Okie Show.
Okay.
We've never done this before, so Kelly, welcome us to Kelly's Corner.
Welcome to basically a little moment of my time where I explain weird things about my life and or kids, because I feel like everyone can relate to these on probably some basic level.
This is us reaching out to the female mom demographic of our listener base.
Yeah, so hey mom, and that's hey Lainey. She's not a mom yet, but
Not
she'll
yet.
this will prevent that. No. So Kelly's Corner today, I'm going to talk about clothing and poop. And
My two favorite subjects.
right? So in the baby world, there's this really expensive clothing, and it's like, okay, this baby is like a foot long, right? And their clothing costs more than my pants or my shirt. And I pay for it because I am ridiculous because they look so cute. So there's this brand of clothing that is super classy, and you'd basically just put your baby in it and then show your baby off, and then you don't want your baby to do anything in it because it would ruin the clothing, and it has a really good resale value. So I'm going to try to sell back, get some money. So my daughter has this really bad habit of pooping. I mean, a lot of babies do this, but pooping up her back.
Baby pooping?
Yes.
That's weird.
Pooping up her back. So
up her back.
Up her back.
Oh, geez.
So it shoots. You know, like you think that it would come down like gravity. It does not. She's sitting there, and I'm like, it'll just go in the diaper. No, it shoots up the back of the diaper, basically doesn't even get in the diaper, and then shoots all over her clothing.
Oh, no.
So I have become really good at preemptively stripping my baby naked before she poops. And I can tell, like, okay, she's making that noise. I run over there.
Feel the tremors?
Yes, I could see, like, that face that kind of, like,
the volcano
squish.
erupts?
Yes, and I just rip the clothing off of her to prevent poop all over these expensive baby clothes because I don't want to have to watch. And then this stain. It's going to be embarrassing for her if she ever hears this later on in life. Her poop it's yellow and stainy.
This is your preemptive payback.
Yes.
Whenever she's older.
I'm gonna make sure that any boyfriends that she ever dates, I'll just share this with them.
Join me. Listen to this.
So, yeah, now I can quickly derobe a baby and then allow her to poop and then put clothes back on because she's still clean.
And if you get it under 10 seconds, then you win the buckle or whatever.
So if anyone needs that, I can help them out and learn how to read their baby's cues, learn how to save you some time on your laundry bill.
You just time it. Click. Ha, ha, time.
And yeah, that's Kelly's Corner.
That's Kelly's Corner, complete with the theme song. Kelly's Corner,
where babies do weird stuff
with their poop.
Most times. We're gonna have to work on that theme song.
Work on the Kelly's Corner theme song. Yeah, this is a work in progress. First time. Okay, so it's game time. What do we got on the docket?
Well, we're going to play a few short form games. I figure the first one, kind of a warm up, we're going to play a game called Because I Said So. And this is also inspired by my children because my son plays with me every day. And I don't like to play, but he makes me. I'm going to basically start by asking a question. And whoever's playing with me is just only going to respond with why. And I have to give an answer.
Chris,
and they're going to respond with
Kelly?
why. And until
My lines are why?
Yeah, that's it.
I'll play this.
Okay. And until I am no longer able to answer or justify the question, and I say, because I said so. And I'm really good at saying that because I say it all the time. Okay, so can we get, I don't know, some sort of like suggestion for what we're going to talk about?
Okay,
yeah.
so I'm going to bring up our fancy improv suggestifier here.
Yes.
While you're doing that, I invite listeners to visit theactorfactory.com.
There you go.
Yes, please do.
Okay, so let's see here. A container of hummus is your suggestion.
Okay. Son, come over here. I'd really like you to try this hummus.
Why?
Well, it's dinner time, and I know that you're hungry.
Why?
Well, your body has cues at certain times of the day where you need to eat food.
Why?
So you can grow big and strong. You need to be able to eat to grow.
Why?
Because your body requires nutrients, where, there's this whole system that is in our bodies that you have to intake and output to generate muscle strength and to build your bones.
Why?
Because just eat the food. Because I said so.
All right. Oh man, I can see. I see the frustration of motherhood already. I don't feel like that was acting at all.
No, it wasn't. That's a daily thing.
Okay, sorry. Next suggestion. Let's see here. Feather duster. Okay.
Are you going to take this one?
Yes.
Oh, why you?
Could you hand me the feather duster?
Why?
Because we need to dust up there on the blinds.
Why?
because it's really dusty and it kind of gets disgusting, and eventually we breathe that in.
Why?
Because when you leave stuff, the air moves it around the room, hence becoming part of the air, and then we breathe it in.
Why?
Because when you exhale, you tend to inhale so that we can survive.
Why?
Because God made us that way.
That's also that counts as a because God said so. Child.
All right, Chris, you want to try to take one of these?
Sure.
Okay, so your topic is broken laptop.
Hey, I need to get my laptop fixed. It's broken.
Oh, why?
Because I need a laptop to do my work.
Why?
Because I don't have any other way to do my work other than my laptop.
Ooh, why?
Because that's the only way I can access the internet and a keyboard that fits my hands and a lot of my documents, because my documents I can't access on my phone.
Why?
Because the phone isn't set up that way. Apple doesn't allow us to open a Word and manipulate a Word document on my phone.
Why?
Because Steve Jobs had something to do with Bill Gates, and I don't understand it. But I just need I just need you to fix my laptop.
Oh, why?
Because I can't do my work on my laptop.
Why?
Because I have to get my work done. Because I've got a deadline coming up.
Ooh, why?
Because they, for some reason, came up with this idea for this job yesterday, and they need the decisions by now. And even though they were planning it a month ago, they just dropped the thing in my lap.
Why?
Because that's how it works.
Pull back the veil from what it's like to be a caster. Oh, beautiful. That was an Okie show premiere of that game.
Yes.
I like, we'll have to do that more often. So we got enough time for about one more game.
Okay, why don't we play Post Office? That's so fun.
Yes.
It's a guessing game. Have we played this on Okie
We played this once before.
Okay, all right, good. So we know what we're doing. Sorry, Chris. Chris is going to be the Postmaster General, and Brian and I are going to be mailing something, and he does not know what the objects are that we're mailing. So we're going to, give him hints and clues. He has to ask him questions about what we're mailing. And let's get her done.
So I'm behind the counter at the post office,
You are.
and you're presenting me with a package.
package.
Yes.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, and we are doing this in such a
And
way
for
that
some
normally-
reason, I have to know the contents. Like every
Exactly,
post office,
yes.
they have to know that
Right.
what's inside the
Just
box.
ask
so
liquid,
we know
fragile,
we're not-
perishable. Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Lithium batteries.
Normally, if this was going to be a live show, we would have Chris leave the room, and then we'd ask for suggestions like, "Can I get an object? Can I get a person?" So, but we're not going to do that. So you guys are going to be guessing along with Chris as to what Kelly is carrying and what or who or whatever I'm carrying.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
So here we go. This is Post Office in 3, 2, 1.
Excuse me, sir. I need to mail this. Hold on. I'm sorry. Do you have a larger door? I know it's large.
Why would you need a larger door?
It's not going to fit in the regular door. I'm sorry. It just, I need a lot of space. I know I can still mail it though. So do you have a back door? I can just bring this around. Also, potentially, I don't really, it's on a
Is it
lift.
going to fit in the slot? It has to.
You
fit
have a
in the
large
slot.
slot? I'm not coming on to you. I'm so sorry. It's just a question I have to ask. If there's a slot that
Is
it
this
needs
perishable?
to go in, it is not perishable. No, it's made out of metal. It's pretty strong.
It's not flammable.
No. Well, internally, there are things inside of it that might perchance catch on fire, but it's pretty unlikely. There's a lot of water, so I feel like in general, they don't burn.
And what shape is the box that you need to bring it in?
Well, I put it in a square box, but I thought about wrapping it. But that's it's very oblong, round, and I feel like there's a lot of just different spouts that I'd have to wrap all of it. So I just put it in a large box. It's on a lift. I would have floated it in here, but you're not really surrounded by a body of water, so I just lifted it.
I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. Are you trying to mail a urinal, ma'am?
No, it's much, much bigger than that. There are urinals on it, 2, in fact, just 2 urinals. And it, if we're talking size, it can fit probably crew of 15.
This is a boat of some kind, ma'am. You're trying
technically, it's not really a boat. It's more of the underwater type of kind of boat.
Who's receiving this package, ma'am?
Oh, I can't. China?
Is this a submarine?
Excuse me, sir.
There's 2 urinals on a submarine?
2 urinals on a submarine.
Been on a submarine?
Only 2? They have to ration
They got
the
to pee
toilets.
somewhere, right?
Excuse me, sir. Do you have a king's discount?
As for royalty?
Well, I mean, kind of. I mean, if we're talking about, nice music that you're playing. Hey, okay, so I've got this crate here that we need to mail off. I know it's kind of big, but do you have like trucks with freezers inside so we can keep this on ice?
We do have trucks with freezers. Is this a perishable item?
I mean, if it thaws out, possibly. Or as he would say, uh-huh.
You have dead Elvis on here?
Dead Elvis.
That was a pretty good clue.
I gave it away too fast. Well, thank you, Chris, so much for coming on the show. This has been a real blast.
Good.
I need
It's
to
been
come
a-
out to the
thanks.
factory and
Yes, so
everything.
much
Thanks.
fun.
I'm so honored you guys asked me to be a part of it.
Well, before we let you go, can you plug the Actor Factor? Where can we find you on social media? Where can people find the auditions and all that?
Oh, yeah, theactorfactory.com. And like Kelly was saying earlier, if you want to get on our email list and start receiving our casting calls and stuff like that, it's free, doesn't cost anything. Go to theactorfactory.com. A little thing will pop up. Just put your email address in and you'll be on it. We're on Twitter @ActorFactory, Instagram, The Actor Factory, Facebook, The Actor Factory. It's hard not to find us.
You're all over the place. All right. Well, thank you guys. And you can, of course, follow the Okie Show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram if you like behind-the-scenes photos of all the crazy stuff that's going on around here. And Kelly, where can we find you online?
On my personal Facebook page, Kelly Lawson, you can see pictures of my babies.
Yours.
My Instagram is private. It's just for my family. No, I'm kidding.
Well. But we will see you guys in the next 2 weeks. Thank you, Chris, so much for coming on the show.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you for
you.
It's
having me.
been a real blast. Okay, bye.
Okie Show.